somebody's mic, which it might be good to mute, for us to mute, if you speaking perhaps. Sounds like a busy street.
Sorry. Big problem with going live on Twitter, which is the delay. So I'm just checking things out. Yeah, I think we're live. Do we have any new guests?
It says streaming started.
Streaming started. Okay, good. Well, I think I'm seeing a screen saying end stream, but I think we're going okay. If anybody wants to check on YouTube just to make sure that we're all live and streaming, that would be great. But otherwise, I'm going to assume that we're live, and so it's a great pleasure to see you all here today as a joint celebration between World Speech Day and World Values Day to celebrate World Values Day, which is a magnificent initiative, global and hugely worthwhile. And it's just terrific to have Charles Fowler here as part of our discussion. Charles is the guiding light behind World Values Day, and so it's lovely to have him and for him to share a few words on what's going on today on World Values Day, what it's bringing to life, and then maybe just some additional thoughts on global citizenship which we might be able to offer. Charles.
Simon, thank you very much. I'm not sure how much I can tell you about what's going on because I've been sitting in meetings and conferences so far today, but there's always masses more going on than I ever imagined. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to World Values Day. Happy World Values Day. I'm Charles Fowler. I'm the Global Coordinator for World Values Day. And I've been organizing it, or helping to organize it with a team for the last 9 years now. This is the 9th World Values Day. We started in 2016. We got together with about 80 organizations around the world. That's the UK Values Alliance, which I belong to and help run, but a lot of other organizations all around the world, all kinds of different organizations, mostly involved in the value space, either directly and some of them a bit more indirectly. What we really wanted to do was to have a campaign which would bring values to life around the world, and the theme for this year is bringing values to life as it happens. And the actual catalyst for this, just very, very briefly, because I think it's interesting, is that there's a whole load of research, some particular surveys that have been done around the world. There's a series of surveys carried out in about 40 countries around the world. Latest one is Brazil this year. And the survey is a survey into values, and the questions are the same, the survey is the same, the methodology is the same, and each country that's asked and the response to the survey responds in this way. When they're asked about personal values, what are your personal values? People come up with a list which looks remarkably similar wherever they are. They come up with a list. Now, I just read very briefly the list from the US. They come up with the values of caring, honesty, family, humor, compassion, responsibility, friendship, respect, accountability, independence. But this is the big but. That's the good news. But the bad news is when the same respondents are asked about how would you describe the society that you live in, your country? What are its values like? they come up with words like these: corruption, bureaucracy, blame, violence, waste, materialism, unemployment, conflict. Now that's the list. The list I just read you were from the United States around about 2009, 2010. But the sad fact is that this is pretty much, it's a very similar list, both of the personal values, these wonderful personal values which we all claim to have, and the list of the descriptions of the countries that we live in. So everyone thinks they've got good values, but when they look around them, they don't see good values being practiced. Now, you might say there could be a lot of reasons for this. The most obvious reason is that the only obvious reason really is that people aren't practicing their values. If they were practicing their values, then obviously we'd be living in countries and a global society which looked a lot different from what it looks like at the moment to most of us. When you look around you, are you seeing those values like courage and decency and caring and compassion? Are you seeing those values around you? The answer may be you're seeing it in your own lives and the surroundings, because people overestimate the amount of negative news, the amount of negative actions that's going on around the world. All of that is true. But what we also were aware of was that there's a lot of evidence that suggests that people don't put their values into action because one of the prime reasons is because they believe that other people have poor values. And this came out of this particular series of surveys I mentioned, and a lot of other surveys and research. So we don't put our values into action because we think that other people aren't doing it. Other people don't have good values and aren't putting them into action. And we're disincentivized. We think, well, what's the point? Why should we bother? Why be a mug? And we're disincentivized from putting our own values into action. So what do we do about this? Well, our answer was to start World Values Day. And we launched World Values with this aim in mind. Let's tell everyone around the world about the wonderful things that are going on around the world, about the good values that are being put into action all around the world that we often aren't really aware about, and create a sort of a ripple effect that can spread around the world and gradually help to educate people, to let people know that actually it's not all bad out there, that other people do have good values, many more than you think. Not everyone has good values, obviously, but the majority of people, and I tell you that the percentages in all of these countries was around about 70%, more or less, mostly more than 70% in most countries, all countries have these good positive values, but in the same percentage thinks that their country, it looks like this grim dystopia, of corruption and blame and violence and mistrust, which is another big feature. So what we're trying to do in World Values Day is really change the narrative, change the picture. We're using social media and meetings like this and physical meetings all around the world, but social media is a big thing. We're using social media to spread the message. And so it's really World Values Day, us all getting together, people who are interested in this, people who are practicing their values, to spread the message on values around the world. And so far we're doing quite well. We get out to a lot of people. So far in the last 9 years, I think the calculation is we reached about 200 million people or more. And we hope to increase that number quite a lot this year. Now, reaching doesn't mean to say engaging. It means, we make them aware. But putting your values into action is the next step. So you've got to plant the seeds, and then we try and get people to put their values into action more and more and more. And what it looks like is, people all around the world, individuals, businesses, because today is a work day, and we like to have World Values Day on a work day because that's where we can reach people. So businesses of all kinds, multinationals and local businesses, all kinds of business, schools, hospitals, universities, community groups, government, central and local government. So many are joining in. I mean, we're still a small percentage of the world. We want to reach out to more, but we are reaching a lot of people, a lot of organizations. We have a lot of big multinationals that take part. We have all sorts of participation through all kinds of activities. So there are people that are doing Walk for Values today, and actually at the weekend as well. We're having people that are conducting workshops on values. Some of them doing community work on World Values Day. There are people who are volunteering in all sorts of different ways so people are doing all kinds of different activities on World Values Day. There's no set way. It's a question of your own values and your own actions, and putting bringing your values to life in the way that actually makes sense in your life. So I'd finish by wishing you again, have a wonderful World Values Day, but please do, if you can, join in, think of, this is our main ask, think of a value that's very important to you at the moment, and please put that value into action. And if you can, share what you're doing with other people, either someone that you happen to run into today, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your people at work, or do it on social media. And that's great if you can do it on social media. You can download a little template which says my value is, therefore I'm doing. You can get it off the website. You can do it whichever way you like, but just share it on social media. Share the news. So that's World Values Day. And Simon, sorry, I need to talk a little bit about what this is about, being a global citizen. I think the global citizenship concept is really important. For me, it's all about being a good citizen, which means practicing our value, not just on a local, national scale, but also on a global scale. So I'm hoping that this discussion today and all the speeches and talks and discussions that we're going to look at and review will show those values coming out. People won't necessarily talk about values, but the values are inherent in the whole idea of being a global citizen. So I'm really looking forward to this discussion, Simon. Thanks very much.
Charles, thanks so much. I'm always just hugely impressed by how much you've achieved in such a short space of time. Less than a decade, and you're now in extraordinary numbers of hundreds of millions of people around the world. And it just shows that, as I've always believed, the quickest way to reach out to people is through ideas. There's no border, there's no infrastructure. You can reach out to people through the simple power of ideas, and I know that's what you've done, and it's really what we've tried to do at World Speech. And I think perhaps in our discussion here, it's that will come out of the power of ideas. Charles and I have collaborated in the past on some discussions, and the focus for these discussions has always been about topics that are in plain sight, but we never bother to talk about, we never bother to discuss. I think creating World Values Day has been a brilliant example of that. That values are in plain sight, we never really discuss them, so we never really share them. So congratulations to Charles. It's great to be part of World Values Day and to share in this. Let me, if I may, invite Dr. Renuka Thakur to make a few comments. Dr. Renuka is involved in a very similar global activity, GSFN, to bring people and put a spot is an expression of what we're discussing today, global citizenship. You can't have one without the other, I believe. And maybe Dr. Renuka will be able to elaborate on us, to give us some brief comments on your perspective of sustainability and global citizenship. And, it's great to have you here, Dr. Renuka.
Thank you very much, Simon. I am very pleased to be here, and thank you very much for Charles to advocate, preach us the value, what you mean by this World Value Day and why we are celebrating. It is very exciting to hear all of you. And thank you for the widespread. And we join you with this. We will like to join with your this cause, and I'm also thankful to Khaled, who made my connection with Simon and you. Thank you very much. So I believe I have my talk for 3 minutes recorded, but however, I would like to reflect a few things here. So global citizenship is, it represents the idea of belonging to the worldwide communities. We are huge, we are worldwide, and it transcends beyond any national border, and it embraces, shared responsibility for many things like for social, environmental, and economic challenges as well as opportunities. And with this digital age, we are so much interconnected. We are interconnected world now, which where we can foster, this inclusivity, collaboration, cooperation, and also sustainable development. And of course, it presents significant challenges, but we can navigate those challenges by appreciating cultural differences and addressing global inequalities. Like and that is the biggest, for me, it is a core objective to address global inequality and ensure that all voices are heard at every table. And because our platform like GSFN is a free worldwide platform to give the opportunity, the first opportunity for ever anyone is looking for. Without the first opportunity, anyone cannot progress to the another one. And we are here to give that first opportunity to everyone, where we and together we are trying to address few complexities which we may able to do with the potential of this global citizenship. And together, I am sure we can create equitable and resilient future. Having said that, I will stop here and I will hand it over to Simon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sunita. Absolutely, we share in your goal and belief in sustainability and giving people the first opportunity. It was good to have those thoughts shaped for us. That's great. Thank you. I'm sure we'll come back to you further, and we've got a number of your speakers from your organisation to feature after this video. So thank you very much for that as well. I'd like to ask Gavin to make a few comments to us. Gavin's based in New Zealand, so it's kind of an appropriate voice to hear, to have a voice from my point of view that's on the other side of the world, which represents to me bringing people from around the world. And that may be a very parochial view, given that I'm based in the UK, but nevertheless, it's a great pleasure to have Gavin here from New Zealand and to get his, I'm sure, different perspective on global citizenship and how we might experience it in different parts as well. So I'm going to hand over to Gavin and give Gavin the screen to give us a few comments.
Thank you, Simon. Yes, indeed. Global values are our values at home. But how many of us are acting on our values? As we have heard, many people think they have high values, but their personal values are not reflected in their society. But how many of us actually act on our values? How many of us buy a meal for somebody begging on the street, or give them a shirt or older jacket off our backs for somebody who's sleeping in the bus shelter, who hasn't got a proper roof and home over their heads? How many of us turn that blind eye to people in need? How many of us provide or contribute to food banks? How many of us support Doctors Without Borders or Habitat for Humanity? How many of us have gone on an international build and joined with people from the UK, America, Canada, Fiji, Africa, to come and build on the one project in the one village? People from all over the world coming together to share their personal values, which was their combined values, values that bring us together to work together. How many of us, though, falsify, if you like, our values, thinking we are doing well, we are offsetting our global emissions, we are helping convert vast areas of desert and wasteland into productive forests through the likes of ecosia plantings? How much of it is for the world to provide food for the needy, to help reclaim some of the desertification going on in our world? And how much is it for our own personal warm fuzzies? While we need to work in our backyard, we need to work worldwide. We need to actually work on putting our values into practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavin, and thank you for reminding us all that everything starts with individual actions, that it's very easy to wander along under the banner of a good global movement, but forget about our own individual responsibility in that. So a tiny reminder. Thank you. We've got, I guess, Lumos from, I think, based in Dublin, in Ireland. Maybe not Dublin, but anyway, I believe in Ireland. And I've seen some of Lumont's contributions in the world of music, which I guess is a wonderful way to express our global values. And maybe Lumont would like to talk about that, or indeed to give some perspective from his point of view on global citizenship and values in general. Lumont,
yeah, thank you, Simon. Thank you very much. Indeed, I'm in Dublin in Ireland at the moment. Winter's coming slowly, so we're getting used to the cold. But lovely to be on this. Really a fascinating discussion. World Values Day. So, in short, on World Earth Day, in fact, on the 22nd of April, I founded and I'm now part of a global initiative called The Wonders of This Place, Climate Education. And The Wonders of This Place actually is a song that I wrote, which started as a poem. And as a pianist, it was the first time I did that. And that experience just made me think about what we might be able to do with that kind of messaging around the world, specifically in schools and in the youth, which is our sort of target focus. But on the subject of values, I think why this is so relevant for today's World Values Day on the 17th of October is the starting point of this initiative that I'm now a part of is, in fact, Charles Fowler earlier in your discussion mentioned the first value you mentioned was care, that people themselves would list as their own personal values. And in fact, that's the starting point of our global initiative, The Wonders of This Place. I mean, just the words, the name of it, The Wonders of This Place. There's a conscious attribute of caring and being grateful and expressing gratitude for the earth and for the planet, because in the absence of that, one can't really expect actions to follow. A few speakers on this call have already mentioned, our behaviors and our actions need to follow through in terms of our thoughts and our plans. So we focus on the creative arts. It started as a poem and a song, The Wonders of This Place, right around the world. And what we're trying to do is to try and get the youth specifically to care. And not only to care, to express that care, that gratitude through the creative arts, whether they dance or paint or sing or draw or write poetry, it doesn't matter. We cater for all of those. And we've been going just on 5-6 months now. The interest has really been strong, and we're in just about 50 countries now, more than half of Africa, where we have in-country ambassadors. In fact, Khaled on the panel today, he's our Egyptian in-country ambassador in Cairo. So that's what we do. And I just wanted to maybe, before I end off, just say one or two things. So why did I write a song and a poem about the earth? Well, that comes from a very deep place of gratitude and care. And I've been very fortunate, been all over the world. And wherever I've been, I've always just thought, what a wonderful, amazing creation this earth is. And that's where it comes from. And what our teaching is in our courses and our projects that we offer to schools is to express that sense of care. So we feel very, very much in favor of focusing on values, because without them as the foundation, we're not going to achieve all the big climate actions, as an example, we need in the world, and the change in behaviors and the small things we can do to make a difference. In fact, thank you.
Great, Numan, thank you very much. I'm going to look forward to listening to your song all the way through, and it's going to be part of the next stream that we play out. So I hope people are going to enjoy that around the world, and that's going to be fun too. I'd like to, I can see Augustine is on screen at the moment, so I'm going to grab him before he maybe disappears, and Augustine on values and global citizenship. Augustine a public speaking organisation in Sierra Leone, and I've just been sort of hugely impressed by what Augustine has been doing with young people.
Simon, sorry to interrupt you. Has someone started some live video in background? Like, because we hear a lot of disturbance.
Very, very terrible network.
I can't hear anything myself, but maybe have you got some video in the background, Augustine? Can you hear us? It doesn't look like Augustine can hear us to me. Is the interference still going?
It has stopped now.
So can you hear us, Augustine, okay?
That was good, I think.
Doesn't sound like. You?
Yes, carry on.
If not, I'll put
now.
I'll put Augustine on, and you can give us your thoughts, Augustine. If there's a problem with the audio or the video, just raise your hand, and I can put Khaled on next for a discussion. But it would be lovely to hear from you from Sierra Leone.
Hello, Simon. Hello, everyone. I trust you can hear me loud and clear. I must firstly apologize.
Yes.
My network seems to be very much terrible. But however, I am more than delighted to be here to speak on behalf of young people of Sierra Leone and represent the country as a whole on this auspicious day, which has to do with the World's Value Day. Firstly, I must commend the work of your very self and the team member for such a great, remarkable idea. The world we live in today is innovation-driven. The world we live in today is creativity-driven. The world we live in today is entrepreneurship-driven. The world we live in today is public speaking-driven. And what I've been telling my colleague over the years is the fact that they must time focus on getting themselves in one of these drive, because as young people, we are no more the future leaders of tomorrow. We are definitely the leaders of today. So we must put in our ultimate best in ensuring that we play our part in making the world a better place. So in that regard, I must also remind you all that the world population now is set to be 8 billion. approximately, and there are about 75% of the world population that struggles with fear of public speaking, which is otherwise known as glossophobia. And as the Glossophobia Academy here in Sierra Leone, we have been ensuring that we focus on helping young people with an ultimate focus on pupils and students, entrepreneurs, and graduates, and ensuring that they master the art of speaking in public constructively and effectively. Because what we believe or what we have learned is the fact that young people have immense roles, but over the years they have been trapped, they have been gripped, they have been angled with the fear of public speaking, which is phobia. So what we have been doing is so that we give opportunities to young people out here in mastering the art of speaking in public constructively and effectively by giving them the quality, by giving them guidance, and ensuring that they participate in nation development, in community development, and also contributing to the global vision SDGs. So I am more than pleased and delighted to equally share my thoughts, share my idea when it comes to World Value Day. So if I have anything to say, I would love to hold on here for a while, then maybe get to hear from the rest of you all as the program commences. I must again apologize. My network is really terrible. That is why I'm coming in a more fluctuating manner. But yes, I'm happy to join, and thank you all for such a remarkable occasion. We're looking forward to seeing how better or best everyone in their own little way can play their part for a better place. Everyone must be valued, every voice must be heard, and every dream must be accomplished. So all we have to do as individuals or as human beings is to ensure that we play our part in supporting people, in helping. It costs you no harm if you can be kind, if you can be good, if you can be supportive to one another, because we really, really have a lot of parts to play in ensuring that we live in a world that is free from poverty, a world that is free from hunger, a world that is free from marginalization, a world that is free from inequality, a world that will have access to education, a world that will have access to opportunities, a world that will give the opportunity to everybody to accomplish to whatever dream, whatever ambitions they are hoping to achieve. So in that regard, I want to thank one of you. It has been a great pleasure being here and equally having to share my thought for a better world, and equally ensuring that I have a world that is equally enriched and loved by each and every one individual. Once again, thank you so much for listening to me. I am Augustine Martin Martinez from Freetown, Sierra Leone, the founder and CEO of the Anti-Glossophobia Academy. It is with my ultimate pleasure being here, and I'm looking forward to listening to the remaining speakers and learning from them. Thank you so much, Simon.
Thank you, Augustine. Thank you very much. I guess at heart, all of us are here or involved in what we do. Create change in a small way. Change is the ultimate theme we hold together. And personally, I still think that the human voice, the power of public speaking, or at least just the power of expression, is still the most powerful way to achieve change. The sort of idea is to create change within society. So it was very uplifting to hear Augustine talking in the same way, talking about creating change through public speaking and how important public speaking is. And that's very powerful for me, because in so many societies around the world, public speaking isn't the given which it is perhaps in parts of Europe. It's not a straightforward thing at all. And it's lovely to see Augustine achieving so much in West Africa and Sierra Leone, and introducing the notion of empowerment through public speaking in those societies. That's great. Khaled is another great champion of public speaking. He's an ambassador for World Speech Day in Egypt, and I know that Khaled is also hugely active in many other UNESCO and UN activities. So I'm going to ask Khaled to add his thoughts on global citizenship and give us a kind of an angle from the Arab world and from North Africa as well. I'd be fascinated to get that kind of gloss on it. So lovely to have you here, Khalid, and look forward to your comments as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. First, it's my pleasure to be here to speak about Global Value Day. I want to thank you also for Dr. Enoch, because he support everything for me, and also Mr. Simon, and also the Maestro Limonted. I want to share my idea. Actually, I want to deliver my thinking for the world. The world, they are in the safe way with Dr. Enoch and Mr. Simon and Limon, all of you, because I know exactly what you have background of you, what thinking about the world, how you can change the world, what you thinking for what you do, actually the better thing, better life for the world. Me, actually, I'm educator and I'm musician and also a member with many global organizations around the world since 2010. And that's also a good chance for me because my thinking to change the world, especially youth. I'm every year working with more than 2,000 students. It's really incredible. I traveled around by UNESCO more than 20 countries. I see by myself still many things missing for youth around the world. Just we are here what we have to support those youth to grow with their life in good climate change. And I'm so proud for what Dr. Inuka doing in Global Sustainability Network, because exactly I do my project there, and that coming soon it will support all around the world, give them good knowledge, technologies, in languages, and learning that support them to know more about it, and they will be safe in the good life. And also by element, actually he, as a musician, also musician, will create soon a big music support for climate change. And I'm sure that will be exciting for all around the world. And also because I'm a member in Global Digital Library since 2018, I support for translation for more than 9 languages. I use this experience to translate the song for many languages to let the students from all over the world learn about climate education to be better in their life. Here we are hand in hand, just to do what we believe to do now. And I know exactly what you think about. I'm sure the will be good for all life, for all people around the world. I know come from it, and I think Egypt, it's Arabic country. You don't worry about that, because the Arab country, I know exactly what is the environment in Arab country, because I'm from Egypt and already I contact with all Arab countries, and I know exactly how I can support those countries. About Africa, also I contact was many people from Africa, and I will also support soon to grow with these people in climate change. By Dr. Renuka and by her platform, the global platform, the world will see what is the fantastic plan. And also every year, Mr. Simon has World Speech Day. That is it's a really global event. The people, more 100 countries, they connect with the videos, the idea from all over the world. And that's good idea for me to do what I have and share that in World Speech Day. I'm so happy to be here, and that's not the end. Just we start. We don't stop forever. Just we share we have. That's working hard for our new generation. And I hope all safe for all countries, all lovely life for all people. And coming soon, amazing plan, music, technology, knowledge, learning, all that it will be ready in the platform, in the global platform by Dr. Renuka and Mr. Simon and Lamonte. Waiting us soon, we share all positive things. Thank you for this lovely day. Happy to share a little the coming soon more. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Khalid. One of the kind of talked about benefits of a session like this, which seems rather strange to people on screens and so on, is that I tend to feel better afterwards. I tend to feel uplifted, or at least smiling by the thoughts and the comments that people have made. And Khalid's enthusiasm and optimism is always infectious, and it's definitely made me feel better. It's that alone is worthwhile being on this brief talk. Now, after this, as I said, we're going to have a series of videos from contributors around the world talking about World Values Day and Global Citizenship. So I'm going to keep this, our own broadcast, short. Maybe just one more kind of sign off from Charles about World Values Day would be lovely. And then I'm going to just thank you all for contributing very much, for kicking off our activities today. I hope I'll see you again soon, and that we'll share in the infectious optimism. And we've got Syed from Bangladesh, so maybe we could have Syed before we go. That would be lovely. I don't know if we can bring him into the stream before I go. I can't see him at the moment, but if he's there, I will try and bring him in. Maybe I can hand over to Charles briefly, while I try and work out whether we can involve Syed. Let me admit I am technologically challenged, but there is Syed, who has joined the stream, and I'd love to get Syed to add a few comments. Syed is in Bangladesh. He does some absolutely fantastic work with the Bangladeshi community, with refugees in Bangladesh, with education, with lifestyles, with improvement. So I hope you can hear me all right, Syed, and it will be lovely to get some comments to you before we hand over to Charles for sign-off. So I'm going to put you on the screen, and let's just see if we can hear from Syed to add some thought on World Values Day and our globalization initiatives. Can you hear me all right, Syed?
Thank you. I am working for Action Aid Bangladesh in refugee camp, Rohingya refugee camp, and recently we have started a new types of work in the refugee camp. It is sports for protection. Here we organize young people, male and female, and they play different types of sports, especially those that are related to their culture, to their custom, like Sinlong and other types of sports. Recently in Rohingya camps, safety and security issues is a big issues in the camps, and there is some problems in the conflicts in the Myanmar border areas. So these are influencing in the Rohingya refugee camps, and it is continuing. Considering this, we are trying to develop social cohesion among the people, and as a part of social cohesion and peace, we are facilitating sports among the Rohingya camps, among the Rohingya people. UNHCR is supporting us for the purpose. Uh, thanks to all. Hope we will talk more.
Thank you, Syed. That's great. That fascinating that you're using sports to bring people together. It's interesting that it's there are many different ways to create cohesion, and we need to be alive to all of them, whether that's in song and music and poetry, like as Lumont discussed, or through public speaking, as Augustine is developing. Through all of these different activities, what matters is bringing people together, whether it's through football or cricket or through song and poetry. So fascinating that you're using sports. Now, just because we're running a little bit short of time, let me just give back to Charles to close off with just a few thoughts on World Values Day, and we'll then hand over to our video participants.
Thank you very much, Simon, and thank you for those wonderful insights from all around the world. Quite amazing, really, the work that's going on that you're all doing, quite apart from this participation in this World Speech Day, World Values Day collaboration. So I think Simon's remarks a moment ago were really apt. Isn't it amazing how connecting just even online, like we've just been doing, is so powerful and so uplifting. It's the power of human connection, really, and that's really where value springs from too, isn't it? It's we feel values. We when we talk about values, we feel them. We feel that human connection because actually the values we share, they come not from the head so much as from the heart. You know, values are really tied up with our emotions. That means they're really emotionally charged, as one of my friends puts it. So let's look forward to World Values Day the rest of today. It started actually a long time ago. It started off really about almost 24 hours ago, technically. It started off yesterday, very early morning, somewhere in the Western Pacific. It's going on for another, gosh, how many hours? Right up to the east coast of North America, California, British Columbia, and even I think we have some people that may be taking part somewhere in the midst of the middle of the Pacific, but we'll probably won't ever hear about that. So there's lots to go for. We have lots of exciting events and activities. Do join in with them. Go to worldvaluesday.com and you'll find loads of information. And very happy World Values Day to all those here and all those of you who are watching this elsewhere. Happy World Values Day. And thank you, Simon, and thank you all the speakers.
Okay, great, Charles. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for contributing, taking the time, reinforcing our belief in change and in bringing about positive change. It's only by talking about it that we share one another's enthusiasm and energy. So thank you all so much. Straight after this, I'm going to start running the videos I mentioned. They'll be on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitter, and also on the website. And it would be lovely to hear from you after this event if you've got any further comments. But I will be making these videos now after the event and then throughout the day as well. So take a look, but also keep in touch. Thank you so much. And the broadcast, technologically challenged as I am by just pressing the end stream button, and but I will thank you all so much, and it's been fun most of all. Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure, Simon. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Good to see you again, Syed. Gavin, Renuka, Lamont,
See you
great
soon.
to see you. Bye. See you soon.
Bye bye.